Okay, we are live. Right, everyone, it is Finn here, and welcome to my Carabao Cup final match preview. Game is coming your way this weekend between Chelsea and Liverpool. Now, of course, in today's preview, I'm going to be giving you all the facts you need to know ahead of this game, from team news to injury news, and at the end of the video, I'm going to give you a cheeky combined starting 11 made out of the best players from both Liverpool and Chelsea. As you guys can see, I've got it all set up right here. Hopefully that shows on screen relatively well. Hopefully that does show on screen properly. And of course, the reason I've done this kind of as a live stream is if one or two people end up watching this live, which I hope one or two people join us live, that they can also contribute in terms of the combined starting 11. But of course, the final is finally here. Between second and third place in the Premier League, Chelsea versus Liverpool, two German managers going head to head. I mean, there are so many things to look out for. I'm thoroughly excited for it. I think between these two teams, it is going to be a contest and a half. But of course, jumping straight into the news for these two teams, I think we're going to start off with the injury news. Obviously, the players that will be missing out on this final. Now, of course, looking at it from Chelsea's point of view, the players that will definitely miss out on this final includes the likes of Ben Chilwell, obviously still suffering with a knee injury, Reece James, obviously with a hamstring injury, major losses. There are still talks about Hudson-Odoi missing out for Chelsea, obviously still in doubt. With the likes of Kovacic and Ziyech, both players are in doubt that they will end up playing in the game. And I have to say, Chelsea's list of injured players, it is a lot longer than Liverpool. Chelsea might end up struggling with this one, obviously with one or two players out of form as well, but a major boost for the Blues will be the fact that Mason Mount is back in the team. Obviously was on the bench in their Champions League game versus Lille, so of course that is a huge boost for them. Now heading into Liverpool's injury news, once again, a lot shorter of a list compared to Chelsea, but of course they will be missing two of their main strikers, Bobby Firmino, the man with the paper white teeth, along with Diogo Jota, obviously with an ankle injury. Now, of course, two major injuries for Liverpool, although the list isn't as long as Chelsea's injury list. Once again, it is still a very, very important list that is missing out. But luckily, I do think Liverpool have the advantage that they do have Luis Diaz now in the squad. So perhaps he could play in a wing position and Mo Salah or Sadio Mane could play as a striker. Saying that, they also have the likes of Divock Origi. But other than that, these are still going to be two incredibly strong teams going head to head. As I said, towards the end of this video, I will be giving a combined starting 11 where you guys, if you are watching live, you can contribute with it. But yeah, first of all, looking at our chat over here with Jersey Boy commenting, "Hey bro, been a while." It has indeed. Obviously, Jersey Boy, everyone, go check out his channel. Been a while, but there was once upon a time where we did collaborate together, spoke about Pep Guardiola. "Hey bro, been a while. Jota isn't ruled out." Okay, he isn't. Yeah, I last checked this morning and I saw that he was. So obviously, that is a clear update. Thank you for that, Jersey Boy. I think Jota being back in the team, that will be huge, has been a major attacking threat for Liverpool. So, I mean, this Liverpool team, once again, going to be seriously strong versus Chelsea. I really like the looks of this Liverpool team. Obviously, a lot less players injured. It's going to be a serious threat. Obviously, looking at other team news for these two teams, obviously looking at from Liverpool's side, it has come out that Jurgen Klopp has spoken about the fact that he is thinking of starting Kelleher, the young, I think he's Irish goalkeeper between the posts. He said there's no reason not to. He's confident in his ability. I fully understand that. When I've seen Kelleher play, he's been a fantastic goalkeeper. Once again, versus a top team, you would almost question, should he start Alisson? But once again, Kelleher looking like a top goalkeeping option. Obviously, from Chelsea's point of view in terms of their news, as I mentioned, Mason Mount back in the squad could be a major boost for them. And there are talks about whether Chelsea should start Romelu Lukaku, obviously in his game versus Crystal Palace about a week ago, only getting 7 touches the entire game. Pretty sure the ball boy got more touches than him. So once again, those are going to be some major talking points between these two teams. Now, of course, looking at these two teams as a whole, hopefully you guys can hear me quite well and you guys can see me. Hopefully there's not too much lag. Looking at these two teams, I think it is going to be so incredibly close. And I also believe it's the first Carabao Cup final in years where either Manchester City or Manchester United aren't in it. Obviously, that is great. We could have a fresh winner. I think lots of Liverpool fans are tremendously excited at the opportunity to lift this trophy. Obviously, Chelsea been in this final quite a few times over the last few years, but I genuinely think it's going to be such a tight competition. Looking at Chelsea from their point of view, once again, although they have picked up quite a few injuries, their squad depth this season is absolutely insane. But unfortunately for them, they haven't quite performed as well as they would have wanted so far this season. Obviously, Carabao Cup is a different story. They beat Spurs with 2 clean sheets in the semi-final round. Looking at Liverpool in all competition, they've been firing off on all cylinders, looking fantastic in every single competition. I mean, they might even catch Manchester City in the Premier League. Once again, between these two very, very top sides, it is going to be an extremely tight competition. Now, saying that, heading into our combined starting 11 for this match, just before we continue talking about the match itself, I do believe I've got it up on screen. I don't know if you guys can see it properly. I hope you guys can see it properly. But in terms of the goalkeeper position, obviously it is going to be between Kepa Arrizabalaga. He has been the main goalkeeper for Chelsea throughout this Carabao Cup campaign. 3 clean sheets in 5 games this competition. Not bad. As much as I like Kelleher, I am going to have to put Kepa Arrizabalaga between the posts, which it has been 2 years since yesterday where he managed his first loss in the Carabao Cup. To think that was 2 years ago where he had that problem with Maurizio Sarri, unbelievable. In the right back position / right mid position, obviously, as you guys can see, I've gone for a 3-4-3 formation. It has to be good old Trent Alexander-Arnold, in my opinion. No one else I would have really gone for. I mean, looking at Trent's 10 assists so far in the Premier League this season, I think he can outright crush his previous record. This might statistically be one of his best seasons yet. Obviously, in that position, I would have competed and would have been a strong argument for Reece James. Once again, he is injured, so I am going to have to rule him out. And as much as I like someone like Azpilicueta, who can play as a centre-back or right-back, as brilliant of a play he is, Trent on his day, just unbeatable. Our first centre-back that we're going to talk about is going to be Tiago Silva. Once again, just looking at him for Chelsea over the last year or two, obviously been a major part to them winning numerous trophies over the last year. Although on the attacking front, not one of the necessarily best centre-backs out of the whole lot in this bunch. Once again, really solid centre-back on his day. The fact that he's nearing almost 40 years old and still out almost the prime of his career. Once again, absolute legend. Our next centre-back, another Chelsea player, with the likes of Antonio Rudiger, where when it comes to attacking ability and defensive ability, as a centre-back, been one of the best in the league, maybe one of the best in the world over the last year. I mean, there have even been talks about him maybe moving to a team like Real Madrid. Once again, with the kind of form Antonio Rudiger has been in, I wouldn't be surprised. Looking at our final centre-back, it is going to be a Liverpool man with the likes of Virgil Van Dyke. Now, Virgil Van Dyke as a whole, once again, absolutely brilliant centre-back. As we know, one of the best centre-backs in the league. Maybe not as strong as he was 2 years ago, but definitely have to put an argument for him being here. I think maybe the closest argument I could have along with it is the fact that maybe Joel Matip could be there. I think Joel Matip has been playing out of his boots so far this season. But with these 3 centre-backs, going to be tricky. Now, you guys can also see why I have put a 3 centre-back system so that I can get these 3 centre-backs in because there are so many options. And to end off this defense, it has to be Andy Robertson. Once again, whether you guys agree or disagree, I'll look at the comments once I finish building this combined 11. Hopefully you guys somewhat agree with it. Let me just make sure that everything is set and rolling. As you guys can see on screen right now, where's a better... I think you guys should be able to see it on screen right now. That is the combined starting 11 that I think is best going forward. Let's see, is there a better option in terms of a screen? Maybe that's a good screen. Nope, that is definitely not a good screen. I think this is going to be the best screen we have looking at this combined 11. Heading on to the midfield, once again, Andy Robertson, just like Trent Alexander-Arnold, looks like he could absolutely crush his record from previous seasons with 9 assists in the Premier League this season. In terms of defensive ability, as we know, unbeatable on his day. Once again, just takes absolutely no prisoners. Heading into our midfield, now I'm not going to lie, this is going to be a pretty Chelsea strong midfield, as we are going to start off with N'Golo Kante first. Once again, as we know, not one of those players you have to explain too much why you choose him. One of the best defensive midfielders in the entire world. 3.1 tackles per 90 minutes, 85% passing accuracy, 2 dribbles per 90. Once again, N'Golo Kante, absolute beast, not missing out on him. Looking at our second midfielder, it's a bit of a tricky one. As you guys can see on the bench here, I've gone between Jorginho and Mount. I think I am going to go for the likes of Mason Mount. It's very close between him and Jorginho. Jorginho being within the top 3 of the Ballon d'Or last year. Yeah, just for me, it's obviously a preference thing. I think Mason Mount on his day, absolutely brilliant player, heavily underrated. When he is in the Chelsea team, he is absolutely the difference maker. I think we definitely saw that last season for Chelsea, especially under Frank Lampard. Once again, I just think Mason Mount is a whole different level kind of player. Heading on to our attack. As you guys can see over here, I've gone for the likes of Mo Salah in the right wing position. If I can just move things up over here, I think that's the best way to do it. Yeah, as you guys can see, it's definitely a controversial front three. As I've gone for the likes of Mo Salah in the right wing position, Sadio Mane in the left wing position, and Kai Havertz in the striker position. As I said, the way Romelu Lukaku has been playing for Chelsea this season, although he's helped them win the Club World Cup, I don't think he's been a fantastic player, in my opinion at least. Looking at the two wingers between Mo Salah and Sadio Mane, obviously AFCON finalists between themselves, as we know on the day, brilliant players. Mo Salah has just become the first player ever to get double tens in the Premier League. Obviously more than 10 goals and 10 assists in 3 different Premier League seasons. Once again, just on his day, in my opinion, best player in the world. There's not going to be anyone who rivals him in the starting 11. Sadio Mane, as we know, on the left wing side, obviously 10 goals in 8 consecutive Premier League matches, absolutely unbeatable. And the Liverpool partnership on the winger positions, absolutely beautiful. Obviously in the striker position, as I mentioned, the likes of Kai Havertz. Looking at him and his overall play, his all-around play, what a player. 5.1 progressive passes per 90 minutes, 2.5 shot-creating actions per 90 minutes, and 1.7 blocks per game. Kai Havertz on his day, absolutely brilliant player, and playing him in that false 9 position is definitely the way forward for Chelsea. For Chelsea. And I want you guys to put down in the comment section down below, if you're watching this video afterwards, what would your combined starting 11 be? I mean, in my opinion, I think the starting 11 looks so tremendously strong. Like, genuinely, it looks amazing in my opinion. I don't know if there are any changes I would make. As I said, maybe I'd bring a player like Joel Matip in. Maybe, obviously, with Jota being available for the game, I would play Jota maybe in a striker position. Once again, Havertz, the impact he's had on this Chelsea team, absolutely incredible. So it's hard to choose between those two. But as I said, I think this final as a whole is going to be absolutely fantastic. Obviously, Jurgen Klopp, this is a trophy he needs to pick up with Liverpool. Looking at Liverpool, the way they've played this season, I would say Liverpool are the better team. I think they've got everything going for them. Looking at Chelsea, obviously their injury list is 10 times longer than Liverpool's. Obviously, their form hasn't been as good. They've been struggling to pick up wins here and there. As I said, everything just seems to be in Liverpool's favor. And I think Chelsea are going to have to work very hard to win this final. Saying that, when it comes to finals, Thomas Tuchel's almost been the king for Chelsea, winning pretty much all of them. I mean, looking like two absolutely fantastic managers, very similar journeys to get to this point in the Premier League in terms of the teams they've managed. I think, in fact, they've managed the same teams. They've both managed Mainz in Germany. They've both managed Borussia Dortmund. Obviously, Klopp hasn't gone to PSG. But other than that, two fantastic managers, and I cannot wait to watch this game. As I said, in terms of form, I would say Liverpool are slightly better at the moment. I would say Liverpool at the moment in all competitions, it looks like they could win almost a treble this season. Maybe not the Premier League, but I mean the Champions League. They look like real favourites almost to win it. The fact that in their group, they beat the likes of Porto, Atletico Madrid, AC Milan twice. Where if you look at Chelsea, yes, they've also done really well in all competitions. But once again, I've just been more convinced from Liverpool so far this season. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be it for today's video. As I said, put down in the comment section down below what your best combined starting 11 would look like. Once again, I know this is a different style video. Once again, I'm relatively busy, unfortunately, throughout today and tomorrow. So I wanted to get a video out. So live streaming it was the best way to go, although I'm sure majority of people will be watching it after it has been live streamed. As I said, put your comments in the comment section down below. What is your prediction for this match? For me personally, in terms of a final score prediction, I think I might have to go for Liverpool on this one. Although we know Kepa Arrizabalaga between the posts, always a deadly combination. But I do think I am going to have to go for a I might go for quite a dominant 3-1 win in Liverpool's favour. And you don't hear that from a Manchester United fan too often. But you know what? Actually, I'm going to lessen it. A 2-1 win to Liverpool. I think they're going to pick it up. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is it for my preview of the Carabao Cup final. Once again, absolutely huge match is it set up to be. As I said, put your combined starting 11s in the comment section down below along with your score predictions. But until next time, this has been Finn, FYNN. Until next time, cheers. I'll stick around for another minute or two if anyone does end up putting some sort of prediction or their best combined starting 11. But obviously, as I said, this one is mine. I'll put it on screen right now. I think it looks relatively good. You guys can obviously say your thoughts and opinions on it. There it is back on screen. As I said, I think these two teams, there are so many brilliant players. And it's all a matter of whether they will show up in a game like this. As we know, Kai Havertz, not necessarily the top of the bunch kind of player. But when it comes to finals, when it comes to important matches, has been the player to show up for Chelsea, where if you look at Liverpool as a whole, as a team, they tend to show up in big matches. So between these two teams, definitely going to be a big one. As I said, I want to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions in the comment section down below. But ladies and gentlemen, until next time, this is Finn, FYNN. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Once again, we are looking to go over 3,000 subscribers. Once again, that would be awesome. Before we head off, I do have a comment here from Diamond. I think that's how you pronounce. Obviously, oh, sorry, my thing's glitching out here. Hey, man, I like the work. Who do you think will win the Champions League? Okay, so in terms of Champions League, obviously, as I mentioned a tiny bit earlier, I think Liverpool, of all teams, have a really good shot this year, funnily enough. I think just the way they have played, maybe the most convincing team in the Champions League at the moment. I do think Man City obviously also have a shot. Whether there are any other teams that spring to mind, maybe a Bayern Munich. Once again, there are quite a few teams that I definitely think could take it. Yeah, but obviously that is a discussion for another time, but I hope I have answered your question. I'll obviously be doing lots of Champions League content as we dive further into the Champions League season. But guys, I hope you have enjoyed this video. Once again, put your combined starting 11s for Chelsea and Liverpool in the comment section down below. Put your predictions, put all of that good stuff. But until next time, Finn, FYNN, cheers.